We are a service center agency who set up common service centers in the villages. We have about 30,000 centers in the country, out of which about 2,200 centers are there in Odisha. We are present in Odisha, Bengal, Assam, Bihar, UP and Tamil Nadu. Now I remember meeting Padhi about 2 years back. The government, when we started the common service center program in the villages, at that time there was no service which was there from the government. So the private sector partner was supposed to provide the services which he felt would be consumed by the local population in the village. Now there are many players, we were one of them, and Odisha also the services were just getting digitized. Only 2 e-districts were there, one in Mallavarapu and other one is Vikram. And other e-districts are coming. So Panigrahi assured me that the e-districts will be launched across the state. But he also commented that it is like putting the cart in front of the horse. Before the services could come, the government of India rolled out the common service centers. So one of the things, many of you feel that you have so many centers, why don't you see them? Now the centers can only be seen when the services come. And if the services are not there, the centers will be as functional depending on the kind of services that you give. So that was a huge challenge. So today's presentation, I am very happy to say that all the states where I am working, including Odisha, in this year, or latest by, last one will possibly will be Assam, latest by December, most of the state governments are going to roll out from as big as 36 services to as little as 4 to 5 services. So the identity of the common service centers is going to be established quite significantly in these states. But one of the states, when Mr. Akhilesh Yadav became the Chief Minister, one of the states was UP. And our learning was from UP. Because he is young and he was like IT centric, he said that as soon as I become the CM, the services must be rolled out. And the government was possibly within inverted comma half ready. But he had to give the services. So we were given the service, and believe me, out of 8,000 centers we had, about 2,200 centers were working with the private services that we had. Other 4,000 centers we were threatening, we were going, cajoling, but it's a challenge, huge challenge. Most of us feel that there is a lot of demand in rural India, but rural India has its own challenge. People who have worked in rural India, they would know. It is highly fragmented, distances are large, quality of power, quality of bandwidth is still a question. We being in metros and mini metro may not understand that. But the moment the government services came, the number of service centers were working almost went up to 89%, including the service turnover of the VLE, the village level entrepreneur. मतलब गांव के अंदर अगर आप कोई चीज को ज्यादा खिलाते हैं तो लोग नहीं आते हो. This was Mr. Piyush Pandey, whose Fevicol advertisement you must have seen. He said the moment you put garnish, so colors, so brilliance, so light, people don't come. In urban centers देखो, village में आएगा नहीं, वो सोचेगा ये इतना पैसा बना रहा है कि इतना सजा रहा है, so मुझसे भी लूट के ले जाएगा. But हम शहर में क्या सोचते हैं, जिस दुकान में सेल लगा है अच्छी तरह से वहीं पे जाके खरीदते हैं, because this is how the consumers are different. So need of the e-governance also, in order to ensure that the services reach, we must understand the sight of the people over there. They are only interested, I want to pay a price, get me the service uninterrupted and good quality. You cannot give me 5 services, don't give. Give me 2 services, go give me uninterruptedly and don't cheat me. That's the only 2 things that they require. So this video
are the architects of the fast-changing pace of Indian villages. We are on our way to one such center in a village called Thalipiyal in the Jagatsinghpur district of Odisha. Each of these common service centers is a single window solution for various needs of the villagers in the areas of education, financial services, consumer utilities, public services and a lot more. This center, owned by Mr. S.K. Abu Sufyan, is no exception. Since its inception in 2009, the center has served almost every villager of Tirtho.
He is a pious Muslim. He is the most respected member of this marketing complex. Not only I am satisfied, every people who has ever met him is satisfied with him. He is not only good but also polite.
We get banking services, insurance premium collection, e-learning and a lot more services from this center. It has been immensely beneficial to us.
Tirtho is a small village of sub 5,000 population but with basic amenities like a school. This SAHAJ CSC was the first to introduce computers and internet to the village. Mr. Abu Sufyan has also employed Anwar Iqbal to man his center. Anwar lost his legs to polio as a child, but efficiently runs the center with no difficulties. Anwar is in fact at his best when in the center. He handles customers, teaches students and maintains accounts with equal ease. There are hundreds of such challenged youth who not only find their means of livelihood but also a respectable social standing through SAHAJ Common Service Centers.
I want to say something I usually don't talk about. I have never been able to walk, but SAHAJ has given me wings. People recognize me in the society today because of SAHAJ. I have studied through e-learning here and am now teaching other children.
He is playing his role in ushering the future into his village. This has earned him quite a stature in the society he lives in.
Earlier there was no internet facility in the village. People were deprived of a lot of services and they had to travel far to get them. It feels good that my husband has started this development in the village with SAHAJ. Our social standing has improved. People ask us about a lot of things now. Our income level has increased and now I get to spend more too.
I am undergoing an e-learning course now. I want to grow in life and do a lot for the society, like a very young. Computers were first introduced in this village through the SAHAJ CFC I opened here in 2009. Since then, this center has brought about a lot of development in the village. People recognize me and I am happy for the service I am able to provide them with. I am really proud of being associated with SAHAJ.
Mr. Abu Sufyan loves watching the sunset because every setting sun is the promise.
Look at this data. This is an UP. In UP, when we rolled out these 26 services, the challenges that we had, the services earlier used to come at the Tehsil, and now it is coming at our centers. From 290 a month. He says, "मेरा पेट भर गया, आज के लिए दुकान बंद, कल आ जाना." तो ये जो training facility है to make him learn with entrepreneurship, this is another challenge that we face. High operational hours of CSC, this is an advantage in that versus restricted days. So if you are going to have facilitation centers at the district or the sub-regional level for a service to the consumer, please ensure that the service centers, these facilitation centers are open and they work at least to the extent that the CSC work. It should not be some of the facilitation centers which is closing by 5 o'clock and the VL is operating at the night. Physical movement of documents, this is something very unique which happened in UP. It was called a common service center. We had the services, the consumer had to come, we had to fill up the form, but after that the VL used to take a printout. And the printout he used to go to the Tehsil and to show it to Tehsildar. The Tehsildar had a digital signature, but then he has to compare it the physical and then return it. Then the VL used to tell us कि सर ये आपने क्या किया, ये गांव का आदमी पहले तहसील में जाता था और अभी आप सारा एप्लीकेशन मुझे सिर्फ कंप्यूटर में प्रिंट आउट लेके फिर मैं उसके पास जा रहा हूँ. But this is because I think the engineering of the process was not given proper time. A. B. Still now the second, third and fourth level government functionaries, BDO downwards, computer literacy as well as accepting computer as an alternative mode of governance. This is something which is very crucial because the VLA does not have my face or IT secretary's face or even collector's face. The person who faces is the Tehsildar. So Tehsildar must not tell him कि देखो ये तो गवर्नमेंट का कुछ नया चीज आया है, चल रहा है, लेकिन वो तो हमारा पुराना सिस्टम जो चलता है वो चलता है, तुमको पहले 25 फॉर्म दिया था ना. So this is what repeated publicity as well as awareness creation is one of the sure things which will make your e-governance thing. And if people believe that we talked about M governance, that M governance is going to replace e-governance.
And of course,